In this demonstration, I'm going to show you how to use the hot sheet. I'll begin by selecting the hot sheet icon. Looking at this hot sheet screen, I notice there's three screen tabs. The first one, labeled hot sheet, is showing me the four main parts of MaintSmart, although there is no data connected with these four main parts. The reason for this is because we haven't set up the hot sheet yet. So let's do that now. Going to the Settings tab, we'll notice there are four parts to the hot sheet configuration. These are the four main parts of the MaintSmart program: PMs, inventory and purchasing, work orders, and downtime. To start with, on the PM screen, for example, I would like all the PMs that are coming due in the following 7 days, in other words, a week from today, to be listed in the hot sheet by technician. So I bring technician over from the display categories, and in this case, since I'm looking at PMs that are coming due in the future, I'm going to use a negative value for my late days. Going down to work orders, I want to go back 365 days, and I want to list work orders by priority and by requester. Maybe I want to capture the work that's been requested by the big boss, so I'd like that right out in front. And then of course priority can show me the more urgent work orders. I can get right to those. Okay, inventory. In this case, the inventory screen will actually generate requisitions for you based upon criteria set here. So to begin with, I would like to trigger items to show up in the hot sheet based upon the minimum stock level. And my threshold will be 1, and this refers to 1 below minimum stock. So if an item falls to 1 below minimum stock, MaintSmart's going to enter it into the hot sheet for me. Since the hot sheet can also create requisitions for me based upon these values, I need to tell the program what default value do I want to use for my quantity when requisitioning these items. And in this case, I'm going to go ahead and use the maximum stock. And I want to group all this up by vendor. And coming down to time down, the thresholds here, I'm going to say anything where there's a downtime instance of 10 minutes or more, the repair time is 10 minutes or more, and the impact time was, say, 30 minutes or more. Include that in the hot sheet by equipment and by cause. Okay, so we've configured the hot sheet. At this point, I'm going to save my settings. Come back to my hot sheet tab and refresh. Okay, so there are my values. Now another thing we can do is we can make our hot sheet our default screen. So when we log into MaintSmart, MaintSmart opens right to the hot sheet, showing me what is important that needs to be handled today. Alright, so let's look at some of this. Preventive maintenance, group by technician. If I select by right-clicking this technician and select all the items, I can right-click and I can either edit, which will take me to the PM screen and select all those rows automatically, or I can print this. And if I pick the print, it's going to bring up a PM list. So I can actually assign the PMs right from here. Okay. Work orders by requester and priority. I could select the work order and print it, or I could say edit, and MaintSmart will open the work order screen and select that row for me. Back to my hot sheet. Downtime, same thing. I can go in and select a row and it'll take me to the downtime screen. Okay, inventory is being grouped by vendor. In this case, MaintSmart is showing us all the items that are below minimum stock. Now in this case, this data is reflecting with this green box with a white check mark in it that this item is already either on order or on a requisition. If it's not, it'll be listed here, but it'll have a bolt for the icon. Well, let's just go ahead and pick one of these and see what happens. I'm going to go ahead and pick this one. I'm going to right click and say create requisition for selection. And MaintSmart will immediately create a new requisition for that item. Now that I have this item, I can go ahead and email it to the vendor and get the item ordered. And that is your hot sheet.